Sup guys, what's up, what's up, what's up? My voice might be slurring a little bit through this episode because it's Saturday night and I'm pretty hammered and actually hammered se zyada hai, dude. So we're going to figure out how to do like a drunk episode. Okay, but that
Yes.
drunk episode is
We
going to be
have,
like a the drunk episode is going to be a live episode and we are going to give you
yes.
guys the opportunity to join it. But the only condition is that you also have to be drunk, otherwise it's no fun. So
You to just
like
drink with us.
yeah, we'll figure that out. But that will only be after someone challenges us for Antakshari, which is still not happened. So guys, if you
Yeah,
want to
so you
drunk,
all are not getting the drunk episode till you
if
all
you
challenge us for
correct,
Takshari and then we'll go live. Yeah.
that's how the world
Just
works. That's how BBKK works, and that's how it is.
that's how our
Also,
universe exists.
yes, Sushi or Sherry, whoever one of the two dogs is saying hi to you guys, so just say hi back. Coming back to my current state of drunkenness, I feel I'm in the perfect state, like the absolute perfect
Yes.
state to talk about our topic, which is the Indian education system. And I feel
Yeah.
anyone who's battled the Indian education system is sitting like this, like me on Saturday night, drunk and happy and
You are
with
a
battle
good
scars all over them.
yeah, no, like I thought this was an interesting topic in general because like over the years I've spoken a lot about you know bad teachers or you're like, oh, whatever, how is this teacher ever going to teach like this, how can this teacher teach like this, I'm not
Hmm.
understanding anything, or
Hmm.
this teacher is like so fucked up, like stuff like that. It's just that I have not given much thought into what works, like what does work though, because it's such
Uh,
a hit or miss with us.
dude, so like honestly, when just before recording, okay, Soumya was like, let's talk about what works. And I, dude, the only thing I can think of, honestly, from that time till now is like the fun I've had in school, or the fun I've
Hmm.
had in college, or the fun I've had in like, engineering college. It's like the worst time of my fucking life. But like, I feel like the camaraderie that you make, like that is formed because you're all going through the sewer of what is supposed to build the foundation of your career. I feel that is the best part of the Indian education system. Like your friends are such thick friends, it's because they're almost like soldiers. They're
Hmm.
almost like, you know
Matlab
what?
you're facing a common enemy, like it's
Exactly,
like
exactly.
that. Okay.
They're like, we're all in this shithole. We just might as well be supportive, kind of thing. But
That's
like,
something I had not thought about.
you know,
You're right about that, I think.
because that's where, like, honestly, like I tell you, most of my really close bonds are formed in the fucking trenches of engineering. Like I wanted to tell this story since the longest time, like even when we are doing the other podcast, but like the most fondest memory I have from the education system or the time that I was doing education is because is I used to go to my friend's house to study, right? 1 month before engineering exams, everyone knows एक महीने पहले ही पढ़ाई होती है. तो हम जाते थे, मैं और वो बैठते थे, his name is Kaushal, like he's like one of my fucking वो if if I was gay I would marry him. He's that close to me. But like मैं और कौशल बैठ के पढ़ाई करते थे and we used to study for like we used to study till like 4 a.m. and then we used to go to Swargate. He used to stay in Bibbiadi, so we used to go to Swargate. Guys, if you guys are not from Pune, I'm sorry, but just look it up in the map. But like we used to go from Bibbiadi to Swargate. We used to have chai. We used to come back and हम लोग बिबियाड़ी बस स्टॉप बिबियाड़ी के एक रैंडम बस स्टॉप पे बैठते थे और हम जस्ट बैठ के टिल द सन रोज हम लोग बातें करते थे just random shit about life about experiences just shit and that is
Hmm.
like I feel from the education system like of course I did drop out of engineering and then did mass communication. Now I'm working in media, but like I will never regret engineering just because of those moments.
I got it. I got
Yeah.
it. Yeah. No, actually, what I have figured is like I have gone through my own set of just teachers who I knew would never get through to me. Like, but just because maybe their teaching style was little not my thing, or
Hmm.
like for example, in my architecture, I faced this a lot. There were a lot of teachers who used condescension as a teaching mechanism.
Hmm.
which is just something that never, like, it never worked with me. Like,
Mm.
I didn't care if they were condescending towards me, but I used to get irritated if they were condescending with other people. Like,
Yeah.
for example, like we had like these two drawing boards that were kept together, so we ended up having a drawing board partner, like
Mm.
whose drawing board was stuck to yours. So my drawing board partner was this guy called Kumail, and he basically, I know that he was very hardworking. Still, ठीक है, his ideas were not common. Like,
Mm.
they were not like something that everybody could get behind. So I think most of his problems started from there.
Mm.
But he used to work hard. Like, he would always have a model. He would always have like some concept that he can explain. That's also a big deal, right? Then, like, for one of our architectural design submissions, he had a lot of things. He had a
Mm.
model, he had his all sheets, everything. And a lot of our marking used to happen based on whether your thing is complete. Like,
Yeah,
are there
correct.
enough
Yeah, yeah.
drawings for the teacher to understand what you've made?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of my thing, though, I knew ki I used to suffer because of that only. Like, I used to get too engrossed in making everything in too much detail, so I used to not finish all the drawings.
Mm.
But Kumail had completed all the drawings,
Mm.
and both he and I had failed the first term in architectural design. So we were like, we had to work very hard in the second one to make it through,
Yeah.
which, like, at that point, I had to given up. Like, i
Mm.
i knew I wouldn't be able to cover that amount of marks.
Mm.
But Kumail, like, matlab, I was still trying to put in effort, but
Mm.
Kumail was putting in effort regardless.
Mm.
Like, I don't care, I'm liking my design, so I am fully in it.
Correct. Yeah.
ऐसे करके he was like full जोश में. And then we had one professor. So what we did is, we had a closed door jury where they would check our sheets when we're not around, so we're not there to explain it. And they'd call us back and they'd give us feedback, like
Mm.
classical feedback, sorry, full classical feedback. And then they would, based on that feedback, we had to work on our sheets and get them back.
Correct.
So in the full class feedback started, one of our professors is just like, nobody has finished anything to anybody's, to our liking and all that normal shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
Bakwas. Normal.
and then he started just saying stuff like, कुमेल ने तो बहुत अच्छा किया है इस बार and stuff like that, and it was full sarcasm. I
Mm.
knew it was sarcasm.
Mm.
And he went on like that for a bit. Okay. And I know what he was trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of shitty. Like,
Of course it
at
is.
this point,
Of course it is.
the people you're teaching are 20 years old. We were in
Mm.
third year that time.
Mm.
So you're just like, like, this
Nahi,
feels very,
but I
very
feel,
childish and
yeah,
immature.
but I feel that's the Indian education system, like, especially if we talk about professors, right? That's just how they function. Like, they will never be like, you know what, you come here, sit with me, and be like, okay, tell
Hmm.
me what's up. Like, tell me
Hmm.
what's going on, and what's happening, blah blah blah. They will always be like, अरे ये तो गधा आदमी है.
Hmm.
Dude,
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
HOD from instrumentation had a nickname for me. It was Aksharshaha Ghaneda Porga.
Wow.
And he used to call me that regularly. And I was just
What
like,
the
at,
hell?
at some point, I feel that is also what led me to be like, I'm not interested in this shit. I don't want to be around
Yeah.
these people
Yeah,
anymore.
because it's gross. It makes you
Yeah.
feel gross. Like, I was like, literally, when he was saying that shit about Kumail, I felt so annoyed because I know how much hard work Kumail had put into this
Mm.
this submission. Like, he had finished all his sheets. There
Yeah,
were
yeah.
so many people who did not get called out, who did not have all their sheets.
Mm.
Right? So I literally was the only person in class who said, like, sir, that's not funny. Like,
Mm.
and
Dude,
then
but
he immediately flipped track. He immediately was like, then prove me wrong. Like, he tried to be inspiring or encouraging after I said that. But then,
but I'll tell you this issue now that when you're talking about, see, I am very lucky to have been a part of a school which is Saint Vincent's in Pune, where I know that if any Vincentian was there with you in that class, they would have probably said, supported and be like, sir, yeah, that's not funny. I agree with that. And you know what Soumya is saying is right. But the majority of people, especially in courses like engineering and architecture and all, are so scared Like they are so like, oh
Of
my god, I
what?
can't.
Dude, I was like, what can this guy even do? Like, he's already failed me in my
Yeah.
first term.
No,
Like,
so people are like
what can
so,
you do to me?
but people are so scared of that, you know, oh shit, मैंने professor को ये किया तो, because we genuinely have had professors in engineering who are like, yeah, अरे you, I'm going to fail you in this practical, and they used to, and it's
And
like
this
a
is from out of khunnas. It's out of
yeah,
khunnas.
that
It's
is
not even
definitely out of
because
खुन्नस,
something happened. Like,
definitely
it's
out of
not
खुन्नस.
even.
या अरे मेरे को तो आधा डिपार्टमेंट मेरे से तंग आ गया था, because I has to be the kind of person who used to be like, अरे देखो गलत है तो गलत है, बात खत्म.
मतलब तू
Like
बोल देता था
हाँ,
कुछ ना कुछ
या मुझे
मतलब.
अच्छा नहीं लग रहा तो मुझे नहीं अच्छा लग रहा. Like I can't help
हम्म.
it. I can't be the one who's silent, which which very surprisingly helped me in my mass communication degree, because
Makes sense.
I was like, also I was very lucky to be the second batch only in that college. So they were like, oh, we are open to feedback. So then I was like, Are you guys are just doing time pass. Like this is not worth what we've paid for. And I'm like, yeah, this professor doesn't know how to teach, or you know, she's not doing it in the right way, or he's not doing it in the right way. But in engineering, because it's like a systemic thing that you're fighting, like if suddenly one person is trying to be like, no, this doesn't is not right, he becomes a target, or she becomes a target, and then you're
Yeah, and
screwed.
all the professors hate on this person. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
just happens.
Then you
Yeah,
are
that used to
screwed.
happen. And the smaller the college, the worse it is,
Yeah, yeah.
obviously, because then
Hmm.
there are like fewer people. Like we had
Hmm.
like 40 people in our first year. By the time we got to fifth year, we were like 19 people because
Yeah,
everyone was
dude, it
failing and
happens.
like
So
dropping out
if
or whatever, whatever.
I'm sure, like, given the Indianness or of like just the Indian education system, I'm sure most of you are either have been in engineering colleges, or you know, some has been from architecture. So you know how it is. Like the numbers actually thin out, because some people
Hmm.
are just leave, and some people can't stand it.
And dude,
Some
and
people.
then it gets worse. Like
Hmm.
I just feel like, see, me and Ramanujan probably are just thick-skinned people.
Hmm.
Like, so we are not gonna let someone trample all over our ego just because they
Hmm.
can. Like, this is just what
Oh,
it is.
balls.
But
No
but
chance.
everyone else is not like that.
Yeah.
Like
There
what I'm
are
trying to
there are
say is,
so many people who just take it in silently.
dude, and it has affected him so badly. Like, I'll tell you another thing, okay, in third year, and this is all like just the, I guess, the tyranny of the professors in my
Hmm.
college.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
you can only imagine. So my college is like bang in the middle of Pune city,
Hmm.
like on the corner of Tirak Road and
Yeah,
Bhatia
yeah.
Road.
Hmm.
And like everybody over there, all the teachers were like Maharashtrian, like pure Maharashtrian. Everyone used to talk only in Marathi.
Correct. Yeah,
So
yeah.
like and like they had a stronghold in that place, and it was very evident from just how they used to behave, just what it is. And
Hmm.
there was this one girl called Apurva. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
she had failed in the previous year and she was in our year somehow. Like I don't remember
वाईडी
because
होके
we
आई
were
थी
like
basically, हाँ.
ha. And like I think I just because I had like I had a position in the student council, so I
Mm-hmm.
knew all these people and they knew me, so we used to talk to each other. That was
Mm-hmm.
the only this
Mm-hmm.
thing I had. And I walked in. It was an architecture design class in the morning. I walked into the girls' bathroom and Apurva was just sitting there.
Hmm.
And I asked, like, Apurva, we have AD, like, ma'am has come. Like, if you're here because she was not here. She's like, no, I'm just going to be here for a bit. I was like, but why?
Hmm.
And you know why she was sitting in there? Because she was so afraid of that teacher. She was just
What?
sitting there because she had not done any work and she just didn't have the balls to tell that teacher anything.
But you
She
know
just
what?
knew that teacher was going to pick on her.
Wow, dude.
And she sat in the fucking toilet for fucking 5 hours, Ramanujan. That
Hmm.
was a studio class. So studio classes are usually long because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
give feedback and you're allowed to
Hmm.
work in class.
But yeah, dude,
And
that's how it
my
is.
mind was blown. Like it's
But
just how much
mm,
these things affect people. Like they will not want to do this thing anymore. Even
Yeah,
if
for
they're passionate
sure,
about
for
it, they
sure,
will not want to do this
for
thing
sure.
anymore.
Like, I feel so sad for that girl. Like, एक तो तुम, या तो एक तो ये है कि इंडिया में कि यार, तुम या तो ये कोर्सेज लेते हो, या तो तुम्हें बहुत पैशन है, या तो तुम्हें कोई ऑप्शन नहीं था, और तुम्हारे पेरेंट्स को कोई पता कुछ पता नहीं था ना, तुम्हें पता था कि क्या करना है, बट दे हैव सीन कि you know this person, X person has done this career, so they are settled, so I want to see my kids settled, so let's just get into it, right? And that just, it just keeps adding on layer and layer and layer of pressure, 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 pressure. And that is why we see like the most number of student suicides in the country. Like, it's, which honestly, I am going to give credit to new age parents and be like, yeah, I see it changing. I see you getting on the internet and seeing what career is available. Like when your kid comes up and tells you, "Mom, I want to be a baker," you're just not like, "Oh fuck, what are you doing? You'll die poor or whatever." I know things are opening up, but there's a whole generation that has been just fucking traumatized to the core. Like, ये जो इंडियन एजुकेशन की सिस्टम की हम जब बात करते हैं, how can we not talk about places like a Kota, places down south that, like, coaching classes for IIT that are so strict that the kid doesn't have any social life. Like, he just gets up,
Because
goes.
they don't have, like, see, so somewhere all these things are linked, right? They're just cyclical. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
this
for
thing
sure.
happening where that they don't have time to eat, sleep, like have a social life, whatever. And that's because now competitive exams have gotten very intense. Like percentile me 99.97 wala percentile is the highest. So obviously
Hmm.
the cutoff will be so high. The cutoff will be what, 95, 96, 97
Hmm.
percentile. Then the moment you have a 99.97 percentile person, obviously the people are doing badly are just nowhere in the picture,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
And then again, this is also related to population. Like the more people we have in this country, the worse the competition is going to get.
Hmm. No,
And the
but
worse the competitive exams are going to get.
no, I get it, right? See, I get the value of competitive exams and the value of, a
because
degree or
because it
whatever.
makes sense. Like how
Yeah,
are you going to otherwise chartify
yeah,
everybody?
yeah.
Like
I feel with the current wave also, right? Where every kid needs to learn how to code, right? For example, I get that you want to make them future ready, but not every kid wants to become a coder. Like, not
see,
every
now
kid.
that medicine and that engineering, mechanical engineering or whatever,
Hmm.
same thing is happening with software engineering.
Hmm.
Like people thinking it's the IT wave and everybody needs to get on top of this. So everybody is trying to
No, which is
like
true.
push their kids
Okay,
into
like,
it.
for
I
example,
see
if
it
you want to live as an IT engineer, you'll be earning way more than Soumya and I combined to this date. The only thing is,
100%.
the only question is whether you'll be happy doing it.
Huh. So
That's
what
where
I'm
it all
trying to say
lies.
is, see, this is what I was thinking about. The same thing, like say the same girl who was hiding in the bathroom. Like, what do I think would have helped her? For example,
Hmm.
I feel like, see, probably one of the reasons she got YD was also because of the Sony, that she was
Lack of
just too
interest.
afraid.
Hmm.
Yeah, or and maybe she was interested, but she just couldn't convey it, or she
Hmm.
couldn't
Hmm.
do her work properly, or whatever. And she was also very timid and quiet, so it was very easy to walk all over her. Like proper bait for all the professors in
Correct.
my
Hmm.
college. So, uh, I just feel like since everybody has a different learning style, and one teacher can't have like different teaching styles for each
Hmm.
student,
Hmm.
right? So if
Hmm.
there are
Hmm. Hmm.
40 people in one class, one teacher is not going to be able to change how they teach each
Yeah. Yeah.
person,
Yeah. Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
this is where I kind of agree with what the IB schools are doing nowadays, where
Hmm.
the proportion and ratio of the teachers to students is much more tolerable, and like say every 8 students will have one teacher,
Correct. Yeah.
something like
Hmm.
that, where
Hmm.
it almost becomes like a tuition class.
Almost.
Because
Yeah.
then
Personal
this
tuition. Hmm.
teacher, yeah, so this teacher knows these students very well, that this teacher will know clearly if one person is not understanding something.
Hmm.
This teacher will be able to explain to that person in a way that that person will understand.
Hmm.
So that ratio definitely is conducive to learning, and also it helps the other way also. This teacher can also understand the student's perspective because there is
Yeah,
time.
correct. Yeah,
Because one
but
teacher is not going to be able to understand 50 students' ka perspective, because how is
correct.
the teacher going to manage?
Hmm. No, but I feel that's a population problem. Like
It
again, we
is
come to that,
100%.
like a population problem and infrastructure problem or whatever it is, right? But okay, like looking past that, I feel we put so much pressure on a person's education
Hmm.
that, like, I know people in my life who are ninth standard fail, and they
Hmm.
have legit just like they have empires currently,
Hmm.
just by just doing business. And
Hmm.
why are we not taught about business? Why have we not talked about taxes? Like fucking मैं income tax भरते भरते मेरा दिमाग खराब हो जाता है. Like, why are we not focusing? Like, okay, I get it, education is important, right? So आप 10th standard तक ऐसे education दो जहां पे बच्चे को real life skills हो, taxes पढ़ाओ, you know uh, tell them about whatever, science, arts, commerce, whatever careers are out there, what they require, what the basic skills are. Like for example, why an engineer is valued more than like a person who's done a BSc is because BSc is only the top 3 years, right?
Hmm.
इंजीनियरिंग में वो
Hmm.
चौथा साल आ जाता है. वो जो चौथा
Hmm.
साल है, जो आपका फर्स्ट ईयर है, वो आपको सब फील्ड्स का, सब इंजीनियरिंग का बेसिक्स
Sub
देता है.
engineering.
तो
Then you get
आप
to specialize.
करेक्ट,
Hmm.
तो आप ये, why are you not doing this from first to 10th? Like, isn't that the goal? Like, why don't you teach the kids, say, physical education, like properly, not just be like PT period, hi, there's a football, go 20 people run behind one ball. That's not going to happen.
So you're saying that the curriculum needs changing also.
For
Like
sure,
this is not
for sure.
just a
No, it's a
teaching
systemic
problem.
issue. It's a
Hmm.
systemic issue, and I'm not only trashing on India currently. Chalo, India to
Hmm.
घटिया है ही, but
Hmm.
worldwide, I don't know any curriculum that teaches taxes. I don't know any
Hmm.
curriculum that will be like, okay, we want to put equal focus on art so that the people who want to pursue arts are like, very well founded ki, oh, this is what an artist does, and this is
Hmm.
what we like. Okay, I went to a convent school. I had music classes. I had
Hmm.
painting. I had
Hmm.
sports. I had science, geography, history, maths, whatever, whatever. I never, but even then, the only option I had was science, arts, or commerce. And
Hmm.
मैं तभी आर्ट्स ले लेता, but किसी ने मुझे,
Hmm.
nobody was like, you know what, do
Nobody
arts.
was able to tell you
Yeah,
that what would you get from doing arts. Like
correct,
this is
correct,
the option that would be open to you. But
correct,
everybody always used to treat arts like sub option बंद है इसलिए arts लिया.
correct. So that is the idea. Like everyone was like, do science, because if
Hmm.
you want to then switch to commerce or like an arts
Or
degree, you can.
arts you can
But I'm
because it's
like,
possible.
that's so dumb.
It's
If
quite
you
shitty,
if you think
100%.
about it. And in retrospect, right? One of my friends, first to 10th, he was with me in school. Okay, convent education, SSC board, सब पढ़ाई किया है. He had a very clear idea in his head. He's like, bro, मेरे को तो chef बनना है.
Hmm.
He's like, मेरे को chef बनना है. बात खत्म. So 11th and 12th, he went to actually a college which allowed him to do culinary arts in 11th and 12th. So he did 11th. This is in Pune, by the way. I forgot the college's name, but it's in Pune. So 11th and 12th, he did culinary arts. He did his bachelor's in culinary from IIHM. He, like, the entrance test, he was drinking with me one night before. He was absolutely hung up by giving the test when he came all India rank 3, because he was just so passionate about it. He's like, I don't need to study. I know everything. So he came all India rank 3. He did his graduation. He went to Sydney. He did his masters, and now he's working in one of the restaurants over there. Like this kind, and there are very lucky few people who have this kind of clarity. Like, and the sad part is कि ये बंदे को भी स्ट्रगल करना पड़ा. ये
Hmm.
बंदा भी मास्टर्स इंडिया में नहीं किया उसने.
Hmm.
उसको बैचलर्स के बाद ना उसको नौकरी नहीं मिली. He
Hmm.
had to do a master's and he had to prove himself in India, in Australia. But if in the same situation, if there's an engineer, right, who's like, bro, मेरे को life में ना मेरे को software engineer ही बनना है. Like and I
Hmm.
know people like that also. Like I'm just gonna give the
Yeah,
other
yeah. People who
another
are
example.
passionate about
Yeah,
software
dude, this
engineering.
this guy did bachelor's, did his bachelor's of engineering in com science. He did his
Hmm.
master's and now he's doing his PhD in the US.
Hmm.
But he's
Hmm.
like, bro, मेरा तो life goal set था.
This is what I wanted to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, but his path was so much more easier because someone already defined the path for him,
For
and
him. Yeah. Yeah.
this guy had to figure it out.
Hmm.
That's
100%.
the
I get
difference.
it.
Like, if you want to make a level playing field for everyone, if you want every kid to thrive, यार तुम साला सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर बनाओगे तो तुम खाना क्या खाओगे?
Hmm.
After some time, what food are you going to eat? You can't expect an yeah, I know engineers are supposed to do everything in the world, and there's a very funny story. My ex college where I dropped out of engineering, a radio mirchi came to that college with a placement for RJs. I fucking have the circular, and we're going to put it up. Like I have the circular that they came to find RJs in an engineering college. कि ये दुनिया हो गई है.
They know, dude. They know कि not everybody here wanted to do engineering. It's just so evident. Might as well get a good RJ out of someone.
And I have a media college.
Hmm.
I was in a media college at that time, and
And
media college में
Radio
नहीं है
Mirchi
radio
hadn't
mirchi.
come. Yeah.
I'm
क्यों
like, what
आएंगे?
is
क्यों आएंगे?
what?
All the best stories come from dropout engineers. You don't know what.
Yeah, so I am dropout engineer. No, come ask me. At least
Ah,
would know.
nahi, but they don't know that, na. They
Yeah.
went to an engineering college to pick up an engineer because they were like,
So,
these people make the
but
best
that
RJs.
but that is the thinking. So one of my professors, who hopefully will get on the podcast soon, but he is an engineer who then did his master's in journalism, and he came to
Hmm.
teach us. And he's probably one of the best professors that I've ever had. You know, and
Why do you think so? Like, why do you think
because
that
he was very
he was a
because
good professor?
because I feel he realized, so because he's been through the engineering system, plus he was a little young, there was no condescension.
Hmm.
He was like, guys, I know I'm teaching an interesting subject. History is world history and like new media and bagera. So that those are like really interesting stories that you need to learn, right? And he's like, guys, I will come into the college. You guys are 20 somethings. If you want to use your phone, use your phone. Whoever wants to listen will listen.
Hmm.
And everyone used to listen
Hmm.
because now there is no pressure. Plus, what he's teaching is very interesting and he should do it in an interesting way. So now everyone's like, just let's listen to the guy. Let's just do that.
Hmm.
And in contrast, I've had teachers who are like, who will come in, teach, blabber, whatever the hell, and fuck off without
Hmm.
even caring whether the, and I'm not saying
Whether anyone has done anything or
comprehended
even
anything.
okay with it.
And I'm not
Hmm.
saying one is more effective than the other because I've seen the other also work with some people,
And
but it
that's the
doesn't work with
thing.
all.
Like, that's the thing. See, that's why I feel like, you might have one teaching style, but everyone's learning style is very different.
Hmm.
So, unless you actually do something about that, nothing is going to happen. Like, you're
Correct.
probably, like, I don't know if I ever told you this, but in general, I think because it makes sense in this context. So, there's like people you can volunteer to write exams for the blind
Yeah, yeah,
people,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I had done that for a bit, like when I was
Hmm.
in college, and it just used to blow my mind. I went and wrote English papers for a bunch of people, and you have to just sit next to them, and you have to read the question out to them. They will tell you
Hmm.
the answer. You have to just write it for them.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you're their writer, plus like you get through the exam like that. So it was an English paper. These people speak primarily Marathi,
Hmm.
and I had to ask him a question, and I had to explain it to him because he used to ask me, "What does that mean?"
Oh, damn.
And then at one point he was just like, "You know what? If you know this, you just write the answer."
Oh, man. Hmm.
And I was like, "This guy, okay," because I spoke to him after the exam for a bit. This
Hmm.
guy used to attend all the classes.
Hmm.
He did not know a word of English.
Hmm.
That lady used to come and rattle off something and used to leave.
हाँ, बिकॉज उसको भी काम मोटिवेशन है ना पढ़ाने को.
हाँ, बिकॉज वैसे भी हम टीचर लोग को तो पैसा तो देते ही नहीं है.
बिल्कुल भी नहीं.
दैट्स नॉट अ थिंग ऑन द
हम्म.
एजेंडा. तो लाइक आई जस्ट हु इज विनिंग हियर?
No one, of course no one.
Not a single person
No,
is
no,
learning anything, not a single
no.
person being able to teach anything.
Hmm.
And I was just sitting there in shock because I was like, and he was okay. So there were some questions about English literature, right? So then the question I read out the question was some Shakespeare shit.
Hmm.
And I think Romeo and Juliet padha rahe the unko. And like I asked him the question, he's like, if you know this answer, you write it. And I was like, dude, this is stuff that you had to read. Like,
Hmm. You have to
I
learn.
don't like it's not grammar. I can't just
Hmm.
answer this question like is this oh and though, because the grammar section I could answer like that.
Hmm.
But I what am I going to do in the literature section? I don't know shit.
Correct. But that's so weird,
But
dude. Like,
it was just so
sad.
like matlab in that moment I was like, so there are a bunch of people who are doing their bachelor's degrees and all in English, but they don't know English at all.
Hmm.
Can you
नहीं,
imagine?
इसलिए तो होता है, dude. Like, there was some. So just like to sort of get in the group of the podcast, I like. मेरे तो बहुत strong opinion है, ठीक है. But I'm like, I want to see whether there are, some neutral, some good opinions out there. But there are none. Like, for example,
Because just because I have seen, I think both of us would agree on this key,
hmm,
the number of like places where the education system has failed people are so high.
yeah, for sure,
Like the
for sure.
numbers are so high that
Hmm.
how are you going to defend this education system?
Yeah. No,
You
dude,
can't.
I don't want to also, but like, I have a I have a beef with something. So I have learned most of my engineering in Marathi, right?
Hmm.
Because it was a predominantly Marathi college, and Marathi,
Hmm.
like, Maharashtra के
Same.
काफी गांव से आते थे लोग, तो मराठी में,
Yeah.
and I have come from a 12-year convent education, so it took a time for me, took a while for me to gel in. वो अलग बात है, मैं तो येरड़ा में पला बड़ा हूँ, तो इनहेरेंटली तो मैं गुंडा ही हूँ, तो मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ा to at least crack the social aspect of it. But still, I know कश्मीरी कोटा से लोग आते हैं, और वो लोग बहुत स्ट्रगल करते हैं, and
Hmm.
then for some reason, even though they used to take soft skill classes, a lot of my peers who completed engineering didn't get jobs because they suck at English. But
Hmm.
I'm like, why is that your primary
Who is to
cry?
blame?
Yeah,
No, but who is to blame
one,
for this?
well, fucking Britishers, because they came and colonized us. That's the for sure. That's the reason that English is so prominent. ताकि अरे यार मैं कॉलेज में आता था, मैं इंग्लिश में बात करता था, people used to think that I think I'm very intellectual. And then I was like, देखो मैं 12 साल ना इंग्लिश कॉलेज में पढ़ाई किया, स्कूल कॉलेज में पढ़ाई किया, तो मेरी क्या गलती है? फिर मैं उतर गया मेरे गाउटिंग हिंदी मराठी पे, then suddenly I became everyone's friend. But I'm like, guys, but sadly ये दुनिया है, तुम्हें कुछ, you
I
have to learn, you
know.
have to
You
develop this
have
shit.
to get out of have to get out of this. Like
Hmm.
so I feel like this also comes from a place where teachers already have one thing to do, right?
Hmm.
They have to teach you the subject that is at hand.
Hmm.
They are not there to teach you English
Hmm.
because you're all in college already. So already if your primary schooling has fucked you over, because most of the people in my college also, everyone, even my architecture college was primarily Marathi. Everyone used to
Hmm.
talk mostly in Marathi only. And I was just lucky because I've always spoken Marathi through my childhood
Correct.
and
Yeah.
everything.
Hmm.
So I think I just got lucky with that. Huh? Otherwise, I would have suffered a lot,
Oh
a
man.
lot, a lot.
Oh man, for sure.
And like then they used to write English decently, but
Hmm.
they couldn't for the life of them talk properly
Talk
in
in
English.
English. Yeah.
So they used to start like there
Hmm.
were a lot of places where the teachers were like, you have to primarily give this presentation in English, so
Hmm.
just be prepared for that. But they used to start in English, and then middle way they used to
Move
start
to
talking
Marathi.
Marathi, and the teachers were fine with it because at that point they had to finish this.
Yeah.
कि भाई like let's just finish this as long as you understood it. That's my primary concern. इसके
Hmm.
बाद जो तुम लोग को उखाड़ना है उखाड़ लो. And then they immediately fourth year में we had to write a paper. And I'm like, भाई, what is the logic in this?
No, there is none. There is none. Honestly, there is none. Dude, you
And
know,
this same thing, like everybody just fucking copies
yeah.
papers
Dude,
in India.
dude, this
भाई
this
बाहर तो plagiarism लगा देंगे. They will tell you to you are like rusticated from your college for
hmm.
these things, and you will never get an education.
Dude, I'll tell you, there's a big industry. There are companies that I know that survive on one thing, that is making final year engineering projects for engineers. You can go to a company, give them money as a group because it's a group project, right? You can do like 4 people ka group. You can go to them, give them money, and they will do your entire project for you. You just
Wow.
have to take it and present it. तो तुम प्रैक्टिकली तुमने क्या सीखा है मुझे वो बताओ. तुमने कुछ नहीं सीखा है प्रैक्टिकल. एक तो प्रैक्टिकल सेशन शैम है. वो जर्नल्स तो मैं यहाँ पे पब्लिकली डिस्क्लोज करना चाहता हूँ. मैं मेरे फर्स्ट ईयर में सिविल इंजीनियरिंग का जो जर्नल था, मैंने पिछले साल का एक जर्नल लिया था. उसका जो लास्ट पेज है, फर्स्ट पेज एंड लास्ट पेज जिस पे साइन रहता है, आई सॉर्ट ऑफ कॉपीड द सेम हैंड राइटिंग ऑफ दैट पर्सन, राइट? Sort of copied, put it in the first page and last page and gave it to my professor. It was so evident I did that the professor didn't give a shit. She checked everything, she gave me a sign on everything, and my journal was done. I didn't write a single bloody word.
And what is the point of that journal also, dude? That journal also like सालों सालों से वो copy करता चला जा रहा है, करता हो रहा
There
है.
is
Even I did
nothing.
this. Even I did this. Dude, my mom's handwriting is the same. My
Hmm.
mom has written many journals of mine. Because भाई एक तो बहुत काम रहता है और
Hmm.
उसके ऊपर ये journal लिखना, which by the way I don't need to contribute to at all
I
intellectually.
know you can shit.
It's
You can
just
switch your
someone
brain
who
off.
has to copy,
Hmm.
and like literally like my mom copied shit and that's it. हो गया. Journal is
But
done.
dude, I don't get it. Okay, in this system, even if you want to outperform yourself, okay, इफ यू, मेरा जो कॉलेज का, मेरे बैच का बेस्ट आउटगोइंग स्टूडेंट था, जो पढ़ाई में अच्छा था, अपेरेंटली एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर्स में अच्छा था, उसने कॉलेज छोड़ने के बाद एमबीए इन फाइनेंस करके आज वो फाइनेंस की नौकरी कर रहा है.
That's also like a rite of passage, no? A lot of
तो
engineers do that.
तो तुम कर क्या रहे हो? तुम इंजीनियरिंग क्यों
अरे
कर रहे
पर
हो?
BBA if people do, then people like BBA फिर भी अभी people have started looking up to. Like otherwise, it was just people with money who could get into say Simbi or something
या
like
या
that would do BBAs
हम्म.
because
अरे
that's
लोग,
where all the
डूड,
management quota seats are.
बट लोग एमए एमए करने के बाद एमबीए कर रहे हैं यार. सॉरी, व्हाटएवर, बैचलर्स ऑफ आर्ट्स करने के बाद तुम एमबीए
Arts
कर रहे हो.
BA.
Like
Hmm.
I can't fathom it. I can't fathom this world that we've become a part of. Like I know people who are doing brand management, and they want to be account managers or whatever, but they are doing MBAs, and I'm like,
Hmm.
why? What is even the point? Like if your end goal was to do an MBA, you might as well just read an BBA and MBA
ये
and
पर
gotten
लोगों
a
को
job.
नहीं मालूम रहता है ना. So that is another pitfall of our education system. It's like by the time we finish 10th, we finish 12th, we get into college. Like
Hmm.
we are given so less time to think about our
Yeah, yeah,
the
for sure.
next part of our life that whatever is coming at you, you're just doing.
Yeah,
Like
dude,
so many
all.
people I know
Hmm.
became engineers or got into engineering college just because सब लोग एआई ट्रिपल ई दे रहे थे, सब
Hmm.
लोग जेई दे रहे थे, तो मैंने भी दे दिया. हो गया मेरा. आई गॉट इनटू एन इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज एंड आई
तो
डिड
अभी कर
दैट.
लेते. हम्म.
It's brainless. It's
हम्म.
brainless. They don't have to think about it. They get their degree. और उसके बाद they get time to think about it. And that's when they're like, चल मेरे को फाइनेंस करने का है और मेरे को फिल्म मेकिंग करने का है, मैं कर लूंगा.
In closing, like we try to find the good, and I honestly can't. I
See,
feel.
I just feel like the teachers who are successful in
Hmm.
like doing what they can do, like Ramanujan's, that professor, or like, one or two teachers that I have had throughout my life who have been just so passionate about their work that it has showed and people have stuck around because of that. You know,
Hmm.
they, it's not just the teacher in this thing. This is the conclusion we've come to. We started talking about teachers and what they can do to improve the education system, but unless the system itself improves, the teachers can't do anything.
Oh man, and okay, just on a side note, just to survive, like we started with saying that you are in trenches, and I started with saying that the best moments were like the ones that I spent with my friends. Guys, when you're in college, or when you're in college, right? When you're in degree college, if you leave your house and if you come to a new city and you're staying, please make it a point to choose good friends. Nobody's going to be lucky with it. Like, I have touch wood, I have just have the fortune to have the best fucking people around me. And if I didn't, I wouldn't have the guts to quit engineering, go to Bombay, work, find a job in media, come back, do my degree, now work in a big sports media organization. But that I'm going to come back to what the Indian education system is so good at is making that support system. And that
Hmm.
I feel a lot of other countries lack. Like it's this experience, that this camaraderie that will, like, just choose the right people, and no matter what happens, you'll be set in life. You might
And you know
not think,
what? I
huh?
think additionally, like because you're talking about support system, like friends to hai, because you are with them in the whole process. Like they
Hmm.
know exactly what you're going through, you know
Correct.
exactly what they're going through,
Hmm.
right? But then in this thing now, weirdly enough, one of my major support systems was my parents. I'll tell you why. Okay, so a lot of people are not able to talk to their parents about a lot of things just because that's how we've been, like in
No,
India,
also,
whatever, whatever.
I like not everyone is privileged enough to be in a happy household. Let's just say what it
Huh,
is. Yeah.
and that's fine. And
Hmm.
in many cases, like the parents are forcing you to do engineering or something like that. Like some like hole
Hmm.
that exists, and you can't
Hmm.
talk to your parents about something. But let me tell you, you know what is going on out there. You have to make an attempt to educate your parents
For sure.
about things.
For sure. For sure.
Like if you can't do it, then they are not going to be on your side ever. If
Hmm.
you try, there's a good chance that they will understand. ठीक
Um.
है, if they don't understand,
Hmm.
it's
But at least
like
try. Yeah.
nothing can be done. But then
Hmm.
you tried
Hmm.
to talk to them about it. I tried, like in a lot of cases where professors have complained that oh, she back answers, and all that rubbish complaints that you get just
All
because you're like,
complaints that have been done for me.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah. In these cases, my mom has actually straight up told professors that it's taken a while for her to become like this, and I'm not going to change her now.
Hmm. No,
In this
yeah, it depends. Yeah.
situation,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not saying that everyone would be as lucky or whatever,
No,
but my
my,
mom was always in the
hmm.
loop. Ki,
Yeah, yeah.
she knew what was going on.
Hmm.
She knew ki, this shit might
No, that is
happen,
very
or like
important.
yeah. So
That is
you
very
have to try
important.
and make allies. That
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what your scene is.
yeah, yeah. It's a
As far
war,
as
dude. It's a war.
exactly.
Like, and you have to, but then, like, as soon as overcome that, as soon as you overcome that, you just become such a well-rounded, mature individual because you've already seen shit in
Yeah.
your life. Like it's just that, like, okay, I get that the Indian education system is just horrible, but getting out of it is such an essential molding experience for any individual, I feel. Like if you do it very correctly, you will shine no matter what. It will take time,
Mm.
it will take a lot
Mm.
of effort, but you will. Like
Mm.
you are already more sensible calling bullshit than 90% of your peers are. It's just
Absolutely.
that. And of course,
100%.
like not everyone is like a rebel to do it alone. You need people around you. Like you need someone in your corner. And like that is it. Like I feel Indian education system तुमको वही सिखाएगा, और वो बहुत important
Mm.
सीख है, by the way. So that is why somewhere I'm like, I'm like, should the Indian education system change?
Hmm.
Because
I
even
mean,
if it
it
doesn't,
probably should.
it 100% should. It 100% should. But even if it doesn't, I know so many people who've, struggled and fought their way through, and they've just turned out to be such great, mature individuals, no matter what they do, no matter what degree they have. But they're just like very sorted individuals in life. And I feel that I don't know personally because I've not interacted with a lot of foreigners, but I feel a lot of foreigners might lack that because
Hmm.
things are handed to them. And here, हम ऐसा साला जंग लड़के आ रहा है. So there's that meme, no, ki what like 50 years of war does to you. Like
Hmm.
4 years of an Indian education or 15
System.
years of Indian education will do the same thing to you. It's somewhere down the line on you also on how you take it and go forward.
What you make with it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Damn. What an intense podcast.
Yeah, pretty intense. My God, मेरा दारू उतर गया. But yeah, it was fun, dude. Also,
Yeah.
guys, reminder again, अंताक्षरी challenge उसके बाद ही drunk episode होगा, ठीक है? हम लोग ये नहीं तोड़ेंगे. ये वादा रहा आपसे. But yeah, guys, if you want a really fun drunk episode, right? Like a really fun drunk episode, we'll have to have a really fun antakshari episode before that. That's
Of
how
course.
the
Of
world
course.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And
So,
don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and
guys,
comment
subscribe to
because
Karo
like
because it will just help us. Also, like even if you don't listen to us on Spotify or whatever, I know everyone has Spotify. Just go to Bete Bete Kya Kare, follow us, and just put an episode to listen. It just helps us, reach more people. And if you like our content, just share it with your friends if they will like it too. Yeah, I guess that's about it. See you in the next one.